Excitement for Denis Villeneuve's Dune is building, as we continue to get little glimpses into this upcoming film. An image was recently leaked on Reddit of the official logo for the new Dune adaptation. Warner Brothers didn't intend for this to be leaked, but here we are. This logo was shown at a recent convention in France, and several people in attendance took photos that were posted to Reddit. So really it's on them that this image got out. But anyways, I'm curious to know your thoughts. Let me know in the comments what you think about this minimalist approach to the title of Dune. It's sleek, and even though it's simple, it's very striking. As you can see, there is a lens flare effect which looks like a planet, likely Arrakis, Dune itself, and it causes the last letter to appear as an E, so it spells Dune and not Dunk. The style looks more like hieroglyphics to me instead of actual letters, which fits into this aesthetic as it's seen over a sand dune. This logo seems to be what most people are describing as a classic Denis Villeneuve style, which is one of the most exciting points for many people when it was first announced that he would be helming this project. After all, with all the previous iterations of Dune, the aesthetics of the cinematic Duneverse so far have been, let's say, not so easy on the eyes at times. So keeping in mind the beautiful cinematography that came with Denis' other projects like Blade Runner 2049 and Arrival, if this movie is anywhere close to as pretty as those films were, then I'm sure we'll be in for a real treat. There's also been some other images that have been released from on set, but those don't reveal that much. There's one notable picture, however, taken from a spot that you might recognize. This is the Al Kesna Temple in Petra, Jordan, a very popular tourist destination now. And not hard to see why. This was the location featured as the entrance to what held the Holy Grail in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. It's hard to say if this location will actually be used in the film. I don't know if they would actually reveal set locations such as this, especially such a famous one. It seems like a big thing to reveal. A lot of filming has been done in Jordan, so they could have just been in the area and wanted the photo op. I know I would have. And some of you may know this by now, but this film will actually only cover about half of Frank Herbert's novel. While there is a point that can serve as a natural end for this film, it definitely will have to be executed very carefully. Single books being separated into multiple movies is ambitious, and more often than not, the film comes across as incomplete. Famous examples are The Hobbit and Mockingjay, mostly because the story itself isn't written in a way for it to be split up. And it's difficult to know what you think about the film because technically you haven't seen all of it. And that's the key for this film to work, is that it has to feel like a film complete within itself. When we look at the Lord of the Rings, the first two installments have a definitive beginning, middle, and end, even though the overall story isn't complete yet. At the end of the Fellowship of the Ring, there is still so much left to do, yet it doesn't feel like it ends on a cliffhanger. It's kind of an awkward thing to work out, splitting up a book like this. However, I do feel that if any movie could pull this off, it's probably this one. There is a point in the book where Paul Atreides finishes one journey and begins another, so to speak. There's a couple different places I think they could end on. Spoilers ahead if you don't want to know anything about the plot. But the film could end shortly after the Atreides are betrayed, and Paul and his mother escape into the desert. There is also a point in the book where 2 years have passed, and the second movie could very well take place right at that time jump, which might make more sense given that they might want to give Chani, played by the actress Zendaya, more of a role in this movie. After all, in the books, her character is introduced only after Paul and his mother have escaped into the desert, and given that they are only able to make one film at a time, it might work out best in the end if they explore Paul's introduction and their adoption into the Fremen tribe in the first movie. The novel of Dune is quite vast, and the first novel itself would have been a lot to cover in one film for sure. The original film adaptation in 1984 breezed over a lot of content in order to fit into an average feature-length film. And it's not really doing the source material justice to cut out a majority of what makes Dune so great. It's a disservice to the intricacies of that fantasy world. We definitely need the time to get to know Arrakis and the characters that shape it, as this will be a movie that will be many people's first real introduction to the Duneverse. Having said that, this movie has to be a financial success, otherwise there won't be a second one, and we'll be left with only half the story of Dune. There simply wasn't a budget to film 2 movies at once on a project where success isn't guaranteed. So yes, there's a lot riding on this film, and I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a bit nervous. But overall, with cinematography that's bound to be beautiful, an all-star cast, and with the amazing source material from the original novel, I do think they have all they need to make an epic film and set themselves up for future success with this franchise. I think at this point, most of this movie's chances at financial success will ride on how well they do with the marketing. Time will tell. We'll see how much buzz builds among general audiences as more information comes out about this movie. I'll be sure to cover any new details as we get closer to its release this December. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe for more Dune and other sci-fi and fantasy content. Leaving a thumbs up on this video if you liked it would be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for your support, and as always, have a very nerdy day.